Wow, friends. Chapter 10 of Salt, Sugar, and Fat.
Was it long?
It was a long chapter, and there is a lot in it. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's really given me a clearer picture of the FDA as well as
USDA.
the USDA, what they do. And they're, oh gosh, you guys, they're supposed to be helping people in the United States to eat better and to be sure that our food is safe. However, they also have to worry about industry, and they have to protect our farmers. And the food industry brings jobs and trillions of dollars that they are dealing with every year. And so they have to balance things. They are much more political than I ever realized. All the incredible amount of politics that happen at the FDA and USDA.
And if there's a librarian who writes a letter, heartfelt letter about her concerns, and then they have to balance that feedback compared to the food services or food industry, who has millions of dollars of sales, they have to take that in. What should we listen to?
Yeah, what should we be promoting? Some things that I found interesting that I do enjoy about reading this book is it brings back nostalgic memories to me. So here's one. Uh, when in 1985, President Ronald Reagan, he was like, we've got to start giving less money to these dairy farmers. We're giving too much money. And remember, in last week's chapter, it went about how the U.S. government would buy up all the extra milk and cheese that the dairy farmers were producing that weren't being sold at grocery stores, that because they just could produce more than we could eat, and that we were buying. And so to help the dairy farmers, the government would buy their extra milk and cheese. But then they had so much of it, they had silos of cheese that were rotting. And that was upsetting to me because I was like, we still have starving people in the United States. We still have very, very hungry people. Why are we not giving all of it away? I'm okay with the government helping our farmers, and I appreciate the farmers in the United States and anywhere in the world. It is hard work. I appreciate the workers who work in the fields and who get up early, and it's back-breaking work to do the farming industry so that we can be fed. So I've always thought, oh, I knew the government gave some money to help farmers, and I was A-okay with that because we even have farmers that are relatives. And, we would all die of starvation if we didn't have farmers. So part of me is like, yeah, the government should help our farmers. But then when I heard about like this decaying cheese in silos, and we still have hungry children and hungry people in the United States
And the world.
and in the world where we can send more of it over to help starving nations in the world, that we should be
Of course,
using
it's full
this.
of saturated fat, Gina.
Yeah, but still better than starving and having nothing to eat.
Yes.
I mean, seriously, you see things where people are starving. I mean, like starving, not just hungry, but starving, that we should be able to be helping them. So if we're making surplus that we can't feed somebody, I mean, we have the surplus that's just sitting and rotting when we can give it to somebody who's hungry. I don't know. So that was really disturbing to me in last week's chapter 9. But this week, the nostalgic part is when they talked about how they needed ad campaigns. So in 1985, President Ronald Reagan was like, wow, I agree we need to help dairy farmers, but we're helping them a little bit too much because we're producing all this extra milk and cheese that's rotting. We can't, it's just too much. And so he put out there, he was willing to pay dairy farmers to slaughter some of their cows. And so we'd be producing less milk and we wouldn't have this overabundance of cheese and things.
And what did the cattlemen say to that?
Yeah, the cattlemen like, whoa, wait a minute. So if you're going to buy these dairy cows that are going to turn into meat that's going to be sold somewhere, well, that's going to affect our industry and we have to make a living too.
Market,
you're going to flood the market with meat.
Prices down.
Yeah, it's going to bring, and it's going to hurt us. And so they had to figure out, well, what could we do? And the thought was, well, we just need Americans to drink more milk and eat more cheese. And we could do it, and meat. They need to eat more meat and cheese. And so one way to do this is through marketing. And so but how are we going to pay for all these marketing dollars? And then they had this great idea. System. Yeah, that they called the checkoff system. And with that, what they would do is for like every 12 gallons of milk, 15 cents had to go to a marketing campaign, that the dairy farmers would pay 15 cents for every 12 gallons of milk to help advertise drinking milk. I remember
and
those.
$1 every time a cow was sold.
Yep, and for the cattle industry, yeah, $1 for every cow or steer that was sold would go towards this campaign, and they would use it to advertise to us. I remember those commercials; they were great commercials. Oh my gosh! So the milk commercials.
See if we got milk.
Yeah, he's kidding. Yeah, got milk. That was one of them. It was called Got Milk, and they even had famous people.
Wait, what's for dinner?
Yeah, and the beef industry.
Beef.
It's what's for dinner. And they had great music with the beef. What's for dinner? Really great, exciting, fun music. And then they would show really great recipes that you can use with beef. And they looked delicious. Some of them were easy to make. And I remember those commercials. Those were great commercials. You'd watch it and you'd think, oh, I want to make that for dinner. You'd get dinner ideas just from watching TV and watching these beef. It's what's for dinner. And the milk commercials, oh my gosh. And they had posters everywhere where they would put a white mustache on men and women, and some of them were celebrities. And the milk mustache, it would say, "Got milk," and it'd have like milk and cookies. Even the Girl Scouts had something with milk and cookies. I remember one year. I
used to work in a library, and they had those posters on the wall.
A school library.
Because I'm sure that they gave all the school libraries, here, put these up.
Okay. Well, sure. And so anyway, so it was nostalgic thinking about, and as just a regular American mom consumer, I didn't think about who's paying for these commercials. I never really thought about it, of where the money was coming from.
Did they ever have a commercial? Pink slime, it's what's for dinner.
No, oh my gosh, that was really disturbing. And I kind of remember there being something coming out about pink slime and having to be worried about hamburgers, and how there was they figured a way to make the hamburger have less fat. And a cheap way to do it was through some kind of machine where they tried to swirl out some of the fat, and they used ammonia. Am I saying that right?
They did. Yeah, at first they chose not very good cuts of meat, pulverized it into like a paste or whatever, and then ran it through a thing to get the fat out of it. And then, because it was using the way the process worked is more possible for that kind of meat that's more exposed to feces to have infection or whatever causing agents in it. So they added ammonia to kill it,
To kill
which
those
didn't
germs.
always kill it.
And oh gosh, one of the pages in chapter 10 talks about how they would freeze that meat into big blocks. And it was actually hamburger that was being made for prisoners in the United States
And schools.
and
For school lunch
school
programs.
lunch programs that really used a lot of this defatted meat that was defatted
They'd mix
with
it
the
with some other
process.
stuff too.
Yeah. The pink slime meat that were being used. And it was actually some prison cooks who complained that they could smell the ammonia on it even when the beef was frozen before they cooked it. They're like, wow, it's got a strong ammonia smell. It's like they were worried they were using too much ammonia, and they were worried about the prisoners. Like, oh my gosh, what are we feeding these people? And then the same thing, and this is the same meat we're sending to our school kids too. Oh my gosh. And it was the hamburger that was being used at McDonald's. Well, McDonald's was like, oh, wait a minute, we don't want to be doing this anymore, especially as word got out about it, because who wants to go to McDonald's if they think they're getting ammonia in their meat?
They even had an episode about this on SpongeBob SquarePants.
With the Krabby Patties?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Yeah. So
a very memorable episode.
Oh yeah. And I also remember, which it wasn't brought up in chapter 10, but we're doing a deep dive and sharing our thoughts. I remember years ago, it must have been in the late 80s, when Oprah was getting sued by the cattle industry because she did an episode about something with red meat, and it really upset the cattle growers because they're like, whoa, she has millions of viewers and this is bad advertisement for us and this is hurting us financially. And so they tried to sue her because of that. So anyway, there's a lot of politics that go into producing our food and making sure that it's healthy for us too.
The worst part, you want me to
Go ahead.
jump in?
Yeah,
here?
jump in.
The worst part that I thought from the chapter was toward the end, where they took one of the strategies from the same playbook as they used for cigarette manufacturers, doubt. Because you know what? If you're a scientist and you know science and you're working in the scientific field, the more you also know how much you still need to learn. So there's always a little bit of doubt in there. It's the people who are the stupidest, who don't know that they don't know. And I forget if they were an ad company or something like that. It was a public relations kind of company that took up this mantle and thought, okay, if we can just sow doubt in people's minds, that study had mistakes in it, like maybe it had some typos or something. It had inconsequential mistakes in it. Didn't affect the outcome, the results of the study. But they got to use that sort of stuff to be able to play on people's mistrust of government and mistrust of what experts might be telling you and the science, to be able to say, oh yeah, well, they're not totally sure that causes colorectal cancers and stuff, because their studies had some errors in it.
Now, I'm going to tell you, they
did that with the cigarette industry too, to say, yeah, the Surgeon General says the smoking causes cancers, but there's some errors in the study, and they're not totally certain. And you know what? Science is never totally 100% certain about everything. But you know what? If you get 98% of scientists to agree that, yeah, these results have been replicated. This is the current state of science right now.
Okay.
Sorry.
I really want to finish this one because this is important.
Go ahead.
And you need to hear this too. You need to hear this idea that I have too.
Yeah.
Okay. Years ago, my grandfather died of colon cancer when he was only 35 years old. And my grandma, she lived to be 97. But I remember her telling me for years and years and years that she thought the reason he died of colon cancer was he loved lunch meats. He ate lots of bologna and he wasn't a big fan of vegetables. But she thought it was all the processed meat that he ate because he ate a lot of it. And it was a high percentage of what he ate because he wasn't a big fan of vegetables, but he was a big fan of bologna and processed meats, luncheon meats. And she thought that's probably why he died so young of colon cancer. And
she's probably right.
Yeah. And then I had another grandpa who died at the age of 54 of bladder cancer. And Jeff worries all the time about, he got bladder cancer, a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
November of 24 is when we found out that Jeff had bladder cancer. And he did get it removed. He had 2 surgeries. The first one didn't work, but the second surgery did.
Oh, wait a minute.
And
November
it hasn't
23,
come back. It was
right?
November.
Because
Was it November of 23?
I didn't have my surgery until January.
January of 24. Okay, November of 23, and your surgery was January of 24. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. And he's wondered, because he's not seen bladder cancer in his family. So like, how did he get bladder cancer? And I also have had my bladder checked because I thought, well, what if it's our water? Or, I've been eating the same thing as Jeff for 35 years. I'm 5 years younger than him, but I want to be sure that it's not something that we were eating and maybe are exposed to, and maybe I have it too. And so I've had a cystoscopy where they put a camera up your urethra into, I had it after my hysterectomy.
Oh.
As I went to see not your urologist, I saw a different one.
So you're in the cystoscopy club?
Yeah, you were there with me.
I can't remember. It was a blur.
It was a blur. It was after my hysterectomy. When you if you're chiming in from another country, I'll tell you, the United States, we have a big problem with our health industry. It's really hard, all the things with health insurance and stuff. And our health insurance is a high deductible insurance. So you have to meet your deductible first. And then after you meet your deductible, then it pays 80% and you pay 20% of your doctor bills. And then after you hit your out-of-pocket maximum, then after that, everything is free. When I had my hysterectomy.
What kind of coverage do I have if you hit me in the face?
Sorry, sweetie. But we hit our out-of-pocket maximum for me. And then we also hit our out-of-pocket maximum for Jeff in the same year. It was a $10,000 year in having to pay for doctor stuff for us. But we did have health insurance that we pay money for every month. But on top of all of that, it was $10,000, $5,000 a piece for us for all of our surgeries and out of pocket. And since I had met that, I wanted to be sure that I didn't have bladder cancer as well, that it hadn't been seen yet. And so I met with a urologist that also does pelvic floor exercises and stuff that help you build your pelvic floor back up, because you can have issues with your pelvic floor after having a hysterectomy. And so I wanted to see a urologist, and Jeff's urologist only sees guys. I mean, he's very much into prostates. He specializes in prostates as well as bladder cancer of men. I've never seen a woman in your waiting room. In all of our visits, I have yet to see a woman other than a woman who's there with her husband to support her husband. So
I saw you.
Yeah, but the urologist I went to did a lot of women, And so anyway, I had my bladder looked at, and my bladder was fine. And so there wasn't
Was
any
it
cancer in
pristine?
it. It was, yeah. He didn't say pristine like your urologist said, but I did have that checked because there's a lot of times it's environmental, and we share the same environment where we're eating the exact same foods and drinking the same water and that kind of thing. And we've yet to figure out exactly what caused Jeff's bladder cancer initially, but he had serious high grade bladder cancer, which he's cured of at the moment, but we still every 3 months have to go in for checks. But anyway, so they came out with a study that they talk about in chapter 10 that processed meats could possibly cause colon cancer.
Now, so processed meat, you're talking about things like hot dogs, lunch meat.
Yeah, bologna, that
bacon.
kind of thing. Maybe, I don't know, processed. And before, and
salami.
so the beef industry knew this was coming out, and that was going to be an issue. There'll be more people that won't eat red meat if they hear about this, and so they had to figure out what to do. And anyway, you really we can only tell. So there's so much in this chapter, you guys. I usually highlight, but look at my highlights. Like, good grief! I
just highlight every word.
Just about. This chapter was so dense with so much information of what historically has happened and how our government is run to try to protect us. And at the same time,
interest.
Right. But they do have to protect jobs and markets. And, if everyone lost their job, then that'd be a problem too. We have to eat. There are some things that I agree with the meat and the dairy industry. I just do. It is balance. I think milk is good for you. If you read the nutritional label, it does have protein in it. It does have calcium in it. There are good things. And there are good things in red meat too. There's iron. If you are iron deficient, it is really good for you to have a little bit of red meat. It's just the having too much. And with most things, too much is terrible. A little bit, not so bad. Too much, awful. Even water. I try to drink at least 100 ounces of water a day, and that's really good for me. I take Manjaro, and when you are taking Manjaro as a type 2 diabetes medicine, or you take its sister Zepbound, which is the same medication, tirzepatide, it can dehydrate you a little bit. So a good doctor will tell you to drink extra water because that is really good for you when you're taking Manjaro or Zepbound. But at the same time, if you drank 5 gallons of water a day, that's terrible for you because it washes away the minerals out of your body. So too much water, terrible. Too little water, terrible. It's finding that healthy balance. And what they did do with the cancer study is they to try to get ahead of it and say that maybe red meat isn't so bad, and that we don't know for sure that it causes cancer or whatever, that there are other factors in there, and there are other factors in there. Obesity is a factor of cancer. You're more likely to get cancer when you're overweight. And Jeff and I have been overweight for a number of years. Jeff was skinny most of his life, though, was very, very skinny most of his life, where he could just eat a bazillion calories and not gain an ounce. It was crazy how incredibly thin he was and how much he had to eat every day just to stay thin without getting looking like he was in a concentration camp or something. So he ate a lot of calories just to stay thin. And then that stopped when he was about 50, and he started gaining weight with me. And so we both had a time that we were both, our BMIs are obese. And
So obesity
is a factor
in
in getting cancer,
especially colorectal cancer.
Right. And so even breast cancer, obesity is harder, but there's a lot of skinny women who get breast cancer. So you still should every year get your mammograms. When your doctor tells you to get your mammogram, ladies. But being overweight is another, can be a cause of cancer. But there is a lot to a healthy lifestyle, and I believe you can have meat and cheese as part of your diet, as long as you have it in balance and you're not eating too much of it, and you are getting movement in your day, and you're eating fruits and vegetables too, that you're having balance. Having things in balance, I think, is really important. Also,
when they would advertise for high sugar cereals, Gina,
yes.
after they got in trouble for trying to market to kids so much, they added on, I don't know if you remember hearing this, at the end, part of a nutritious breakfast.
Yeah, and part of a balanced diet.
Maybe the worst part, but part of a nutritious breakfast.
So it's not supposed to be all of your breakfast. It's a part of your breakfast. And so you could have other things with it. So balance, I think, is really key in everything. And also, what was interesting, and I did highlight it with a big star, was how much money we spend with for helping out for, was it the FDA that does the what we should eat and does the the food pyramid and that?
No,
which one was that
it's
one?
a division of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and it's something like consumer. I don't remember the exact words, but
yeah, it's one of the things. It's one of the things I put a star. Oh, that's chapter 8, chapter 10. I put a star by it. But the difference in dollars spent, like to go, the building of is it the FDA building that they said is in Washington, D.C.? And it was the biggest building in Washington, D.C. before they built the Pentagon. And it's the People's, it was made with President Lincoln started it, and he called it the People's something or another. It's towards the beginning of the chapter.
It's right here. But
is that the part?
I'm looking for the name of the.
Or they did that at the beginning. Well, anyway, there's like billions of dollars are spent to do things to help the food industry, and then just a teeny weeny bit of that.
Center for Nutrition Policy and Promotion.
Okay, and
that's the little.
But that's a little department within the
big.
Hidden
someplace far away.
Yeah, it's hard to get to.
Their results published in the big report, like on page 27 in small print, but we forgot to put their graph in.
Yeah, saturated fat isn't good for you, and you
Center
should
for
only
Nutrition
have
Policy and
a little
Promotion.
bit. Okay, and that
it's part of the Department of Agriculture.
Did you in that highlight? Can you see the difference of how many billions are spent in something else, and their budget's only like a few million?
The entire agency gets $146 billion.
$146 billion.
And that little
part that's supposed to be on how to keep us healthy gets how much?
Well, you know what? I didn't. Okay, let's see.
I highlighted it.
Yeah, you have everything highlighted.
I know. I have too much highlighted. Hopefully some of you who've read the chapter have that in your comments, because I'm going to be sharing your comments in a couple of minutes.
It was a few million, though, compared to 146 billion.
And the part where it's supposed to help people to eat healthy and have the healthiest eating practices, that only gets a few $1 million, but the rest of everything else is billions of dollars. So yeah. So anyway, it's in here. You need to get your book and read chapter 10. I'm going to see what some of you guys' thoughts are, because I'm only hitting really, that's still just a small portion. This chapter has so much in it. And Michael Moss, who wrote this book, he is a research journalist and highly, highly regarded. And he works very hard to get to the truth. And so it was very eye-opening to me, where I was like, wow, I only knew, I don't know, you're busy as a mom. You're having a hard enough time figuring out basketball schedules and homework for your kids. And
you got to make them food every day.
You got to make them food every day. Just all the things that are on your plate as a parent. You don't always, you don't know what you don't know. And this book really is an eye-opener into a lot of what I didn't know, but very interesting, the pieces that I did catch, because I lived through it, and I do remember those commercials for the beef industry and the cheese and dairy industry, which I still will eat meat and I will still eat, but I'm gonna really try hard to stay away from processed meats, except for I really do like what I showed last week, the prosciutto that I found, that's only pork and salt. That's it. It has 2 ingredients, and it's delicious.
We'll get to the chapter on salt.
Yeah, I know. It has a lot of salt, but I've been putting one piece of it torn up in scrambled eggs with a little bit of cottage cheese in it, and it's very high in protein, and it keeps me full for a long time if I have a little bit of that for breakfast. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. So is this the first one here?
I think so.
All right, we got Robin in the house. Hey, Robin. And Robin says, yay, I finished reading this chapter today. Yuck. I must say, not too pleasing to think about what they do to beef. I'm seeing pink slime now. Ah! And her wins this week. 6 months labs were done. A1C down from 5.6 to 5.3. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic, Robin. That is great. Congratulations. And you guys, if you have any wins this week, please share your wins like Robin did. We love cheering you on. So let us know your wins as well as any thoughts you have about this chapter. And if you are catching this on replay, put your wins and your thoughts about the chapter in the comments, and I will still respond to those during the week. And Grant's in the house. Hey, Grant. He said, good afternoon. Quite the chapter. I never knew about the misleading of lean meat labels. Yeah. Thank you, Grant, for bringing that up too. So ground beef for making hamburger in the refrigerated section at the grocery store. The fattiest ground beef is, they can call it 70% lean, which is 30% fat, but they can call it lean because they lobbied for that to be able to call it lean. So it sounds like that it's lean, but really very fat. And what's new is years ago, when you picked up the beef, the different hamburger products, it didn't tell you how many calories were in it. It didn't have that nutritional information, just how much fat, like if it's the 70% lean or whatever. And now it really lists it. And when I go to the grocery store, when I look at the nutritional label, it's a big difference. For 3 ounces of meat, the difference between 70% lean and 96% lean It's huge, the difference in calories
And cost.
and cost
Right.
and fat and cost. So the 70% lean is very cheap. It's the cheapest hamburger on the market. But if you're going to get the 96% lean, that's the most expensive. And I'll tell you, when I was cooking for the kids, I used to try to get the 96% lean, but Jeff would complain. That was back when he was skinny. And I was chubby, but he was skinny, and he would complain he didn't like the flavor of 96% lean. He could tell that the meat was tougher, and he didn't like it. And so I tried 90% lean, and Jeff didn't like that either. He would complain at 90% lean. So we used to compromise.
I didn't read this book yet.
I know, he hadn't read the book yet. So we would compromise, and I would buy 85% lean, and then he was happier with that. So it was better than the 70, but not as good as the 96. So the 85% lean is what I usually buy. So Jeff will eat it.
Well, I'm not alone there, Gina. It said in the book that people who tried the no fat or the very low fat meats
found them tougher
and don't buy them. So, I mean, you hardly even see them in the stores that are no fat meats.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's at least 4%. I think the least lean, or the most lean I ever see, is 96%. Same thing with cheese. Oh my gosh. When I did Weight Watchers years ago, I used to try to do the fat-free cheese. Oh my gosh, that stuff was terrible. It was like eating plastic. Oh, hated it.
But
so if I'm going to eat cheese, I'm eating the full fat cheese. But I do prefer mozzarella cheese. Naturally has less fat than other cheeses. So I do eat some mozzarella. Let's see. And Campbell's telling, Grant Campbell's telling Robin, good job, because we like to cheer each other on. Hey, we got Mindy in the house. Hey, Mindy. And Robin says, oops, repeated a bit there. I'll be starting 15 milligrams of Zepbound in October. Got my box ready in the fridge now, and it's orange for October. Oh, cute. I haven't tried the 15 milligram yet. I'm on 12 and a half milligrams of Manjaro, but it is fun. Each level has a different color.
Pumpkin spice Manjaro.
Pumpkin spice Manjaro, pumpkin spice Zepbound. Oh, that's funny. Oh my gosh. And Grant saying hi to Mindy too. And Robin says, hello everybody, and thanks, Grant. And Mindy says, hey Grant, great news on the A1C, Robin. Yeah. Oh, and everyone, if you did not get a chance to see it yet, last Monday, Grant was my special guest on my Manjaro Monday Lives, and his story is fantastic. Oh my gosh. It was really neat hearing his inspiring journey, taking his GLP-1 and what it has done for his health. And he has a lot in there that there's a lot of things in there. If you know anyone who has type 2 diabetes, it is the episode to listen to. If you listen to just one, that's the one. A lot of good things in that video. Thanks again, Grant, for being my guest last week. And Robin says, yeah, never been a fan of hamburger or hot dogs. Now I'm really not.
They say with every hot dog that you eat, it takes like 20 minutes off of your lifespan or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of garbage in there. But there are some hot dogs that are better than others. True. So if I'm going to have a hot dog, I do, I think it's Nathan's. Hebrew National? Yeah, Hebrew National or Nathan's, because they use less of the garbagey stuff. Yeah, which is important because those nitrate things aren't great for you. That's for sure. And Robin says, thanks, Smitty. Haven't seen numbers down like this since I weighed 122 back before I had my daughter. Yep, went back when she was a kid. Yeah, Robin has lost a lot of weight. And we got to interview Robin for a second time. The first time, you can check that out. It's on the channel. But the second time was when we were on our last trip, and we haven't edited it yet.
I'm getting
You're getting there. Oh no, we have, Jeff has over 50 videos that he needs to edit in the hopper, and that's one of them. But it's also a really
I'm
good
catching up.
interview, so that'll be really fun once Jeff gets that all done. And Grant says he found in this chapter interesting how our government doesn't even think we'll pay attention to health guidelines. Jeez. Yeah.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm. And Robin says, Grant, most people didn't, but I think more people are health conscious now as we see ourselves the results of it. Yep. And that's why we're doing this, you guys. We do have, a weight loss book club, and we do different books. This book was recommended to us by Barb, Health at Any Cost, which I was really hoping she would show up today, because I would love to hear her takeaways from this chapter. It is definitely a long book. The chapters are longer than the other ones that we've done, but wow, a lot of information. We will no longer be dumb consumers, but much more powerful consumers. And
it sounds like the next chapter is going to be really good. Did you see at the end?
No, what's the title of the next chapter?
I don't know, but they were kind of leading up to it in the end of this chapter.
Yeah.
Don't read it now.
All right. No,
We
this
didn't
is
get
for
to
the
the
title.
very last.
Lunchtime is all.
No,
that was last week. Lunchtime is all yours. Chapter 11 is called
Bankruptcy.
Oh, really?
No.
It's called
Chapter 11.
No Sugar, No Fat, No Sales.
Wow.
Mm.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Okay. And hey, we got Traveling Tea in the house. She says, good afternoon, everyone. Congratulations on the health victories. Hey, Traveling Tea. I looked in my spam folder and I didn't see the email that you had sent me. Please email me again, because I would love to have you on our show on a Manjaro Monday Live. Let's put in the banners how people can, where's the email part? Here we go. Now, I will tell you, sometimes when you email me, if you have not heard from me 3 or 4 days after you've emailed me, let me know in a comment on any of the videos on Anchor Moments, and I will look in the spam folder. If I find out and it's been over 30 days, it's dumped. And I get a lot of things that end up in my spam folder. So I haven't really looked at my spam folder, because every time I've looked in my spam folder in the past, it really is spam. It's just a whole bunch of horrible things that you don't want to click on because it'll give your computer a virus or whatever.
Spam is really highly processed. and you want to dump that.
You want to dump that, yes. Oh, goodness. But I have found that's where some people have written me to Gina@anchormoments.com that aren't spam, that are my viewers, and for some reason it'll end up in my spam folder, and sometimes it doesn't, and it shows up in my regular email. So I don't know why some do and some don't. Grant's thankfully was in my regular email, so I was able to respond back to him and have him be a guest on my show. So if you'd like to be a guest, you can email me there. But like I say, if I've not responded to you within 4 days, please write a comment, so that way I'll look for your email in the spam folder.
Hide.
Okay, and now hide. Whee.
Comments.
And comments.
There we go.
Oh, wait. Grant gave me a super sticker. Yay. Thanks, Grant. I appreciate that. Oh, goodness. You made my heart smile, Grant. But aren't we over this way?
No. You're going
am I going the wrong direction?
Well, I don't know. There's a reposted. There's
yeah, because we started
there's
this.
Hi. There's hello. There's keep going down. Not been a fan of hot dogs.
Okay, I think that's around where we left off.
No,
And
keep going. Oh.
Oh, that's right. We did that.
Oh, wait. Did you
Oh, yeah,
show
and we
that
did this one.
Because I don't.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry.
Yep, we did that one.
We showed that one too.
We showed that one. And then I was on Traveling Tea. Yes. And Traveling Tea says, congratulations to Robin. And Traveling Tea, I know she has written to me once before, but I can't find it. So I'm sure it hit the spam, and it's already been dumped out of the spam. So I might even have less than 30 days because I get so much spam that it gets too much, and then it just automatically dumps and then starts over again.
You should only have spam like once a day, once a week.
Yeah. He's teasing. Oh my gosh. And Traveling Tea says, hi, Mindy. Great meeting you and Shin in the hotel lobby before the cruise. Oh my gosh. And Grant saying hi to Traveling Tea. And Traveling Tea, it's so funny because your picture is just a dog. So I'm not sure which one you are from the cruise, but boy, it was fun meeting everybody on the cruise. So you'll have to let me know that either in the comments here or when you email me. And I'm super excited to have you on the show at some point here. And Traveling Tea says, hi, Grant, back at you. Great interview last week. Yeah, he really did an amazing job. And Grant says, where's the beef?
Wait, that was Wendy's, though.
That was
right?
Wendy's, yeah.
Nobody asked where the slime was, the pink slime.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Robin thinks that's funny too. Oh my gosh, you guys. But yeah, that was another iconic commercial in the United States. A little old lady was opening up her bun, and the hamburger was so small, she was going, where's the beef?
It's because Wendy's hamburgers were made like in big patties and were square, and they poked out of the edges and the corners.
Yeah. And Robin really enjoyed Grant's interview too. It was a really good one. Really, really good. Thanks so much, Grant. And Robin says, no beef. I feel like chicken tonight. Like chicken tonight. Like chicken tonight. Yeah, that was.
So do I. Yeah.
Yeah, that was another really good commercial for chicken. And chicken sales have grown. So we have learned a lot as consumers that chicken has less saturated fat in it and is a higher, is a better for you protein.
And chickens don't hurt the environment as much as trying to raise a cow.
Oh.
I mean, you know, how much water it takes to and how much feed it takes and all the stuff that goes into raising a cow.
Oh.
It's
I did not know that.
More than it is for raising chickens.
And Robin says, I've heard about ammonia in politics a couple of times now. Oh, interesting. And Grant says, ignorance isn't always bliss. That's right. That's why this book really has been, it hasn't been the easiest read, but it really has taught us a lot. And I am trying to make healthier decisions based on what I learned from these chapters.
Really the best part of this book, I think, that if it can help you make better decisions, then you can be healthier and avoid some of these negative consequences.
Yeah. And Paula's in the house. She says, hello, Jeff and Gina, watching you from the gym, working through a weight loss stall. And you know that exercise is really going to help you. That is great. And we're glad you're with us, Paula. Yep. And Grant says, hang in there, Paula. Thank you, Grant. Hey, we got Linnell in the house. She says, terrible, more diseases have escalated in Americans. Yeah. And Americans, we have the obesity epidemic is just insane. We've just gotten heavier and heavier and heavier as a population. And our kids have gotten heavier, where now it said in chapter 9 last week, it's still stuck. This number has stuck with me that years ago, 1 in 10 kids had type 2 diabetes, and now 1 in 4 have either type 2 diabetes or are pre-diabetic. So they're getting close to having type 2 diabetes. That's really scary. And Robin says, sometimes stalls is just your body adjusting. Keep going, and remember, muscle building could be going on here. When I stalled on the scale, I was losing inches. If I wasn't, I talked to my doctor. Yeah, and losing inches is important too. And exercise will help you with that as well. And Deb says, I kept having UTI infections, ended up with sepsis. Oh no. So I had one of those tests too. Wasn't fun, but put my mind to rest.
Good.
Oh yeah, one of those
Cystoscopy.
cystoscopies, because they do those on women as well as on guys. And it's good to know when they looked in there that they didn't find cancer. So that is good news, Deb. And Linnell says the U.S. needs to stop being so money hungry and to think about its citizens. FDA and insurance work together to keep people sick. Yeah. I also found it disheartening when they talked about how saturated fat, people who have diets with too much saturated fat in it, their cholesterol numbers were higher, and that feeds into the pharmaceutical industry because they make a lot of money on when people take statins. And it also can, eating a diet high in saturated fats can increase your risk for type 2 diabetes. And I've got type 2 diabetes, and I also am taking a statin. And I'm like, oh,
there are
gosh.
probably other anti-cholesterol medications besides statins, aren't there?
I'm not a doctor.
Okay.
Talk to your doctor or
Sorry.
your pharmacist. There may be.
I just thought maybe they'd talk to you about it.
Yeah, I don't know. That hasn't been something that I have studied too much. I've had 2 doctors and my pharmacist tell me that the low dose statin I'm on is supposed to be really, really helpful. And my cholesterol is low now, where it used to be really high. So it's doing what it's supposed to do, I guess. But
Right.
It would have been better to not have needed it.
Yeah.
And Robin says, also, was ready to go up a dose. I learned all this from Gina and Barb. Oh, good. But you always ask your doctor and see what your doctor thinks. And Paula says, Gina, I used to use artificial sweeteners like Sweet and Low and other sweeteners like that. I now have
Interstitial cystitis.
okay,
Cystitis.
I stopped artificial sweeteners and my bladder is healed. Wow. That is really good to know too. Thank you for sharing, Paula. There may be someone out there listening that needs to hear that, and they can talk to their doctor about it too. And she said she used artificial sweeteners for 10 years. And Robin Lockwood said, autocorrect stalls, not horse stalls. And Paula says, diet drinks were the worst, according to my doctor. Yeah.
We used to drink a lot
We
of
used
that.
to drink so much diet pop.
And now we don't.
And she had an issue with her bladder, and you had bladder cancer. I mean, we used to drink a lot of diet pop. Even Jeff and I, we talk a lot about going to Costco because we love Costco. It's one of our favorite stores to go to, and they don't sponsor us or anything. We just enjoy them as a company. But when we used to go, the first thing we did is we would get a diet pop. And we also used to get their hot dog and diet pop for $150 or $150. Good grief, $1.50.
You bought a lot of
hot dogs. No, it was $1.50, and you could get a hot dog, a huge hot dog, and we always drank diet pop, and so in a Diet Coke, and we would start off with that. Then we would push our shopping cart around. And when we finished shopping, we'd go back and get a free refill of our diet pop to take home. And then we still bought diet pop, and we would drink cans of diet pop at home. And it was not in my best interest. And then once I got type 2 diabetes and I started wearing my Freestyle Libre glucose monitor on my arm so I could see continuously what my blood sugar is doing. Well, son of a gun, diet pop would raise my blood sugar, even though there's no sugar in it, but it's so intensely sweet, it tricks my body, and my body thinks, uh-oh, she's having something really sweet, and would kick out a little insulin I didn't need to have floating around in my blood because it was diet pop. And then it would make me hungrier, especially if I had a diet drink and didn't eat food with it. Oh my gosh, I would be hungrier when I was done drinking it than if I didn't drink anything at all.
But you know what I like?
So I drink a lot of water now.
When we go to a restaurant, and they always ask, so can I get you something to drink? And we say water, ice water with lemon.
Yep.
And I like that better now.
Yep.
It's more refreshing, more hydrating.
Mm-hmm. And we didn't stop slowing down our diet pop until I got type 2 diabetes, and that was in October of 2020, and this is August of 25 right now. So we've only slowed it down since then. But for all the years before that, it was a lot of diet pop. So maybe, hopefully, your blood, if that was what caused your bladder cancer, then all this drinking water and lemon, hopefully it never comes back. I don't know.
Hopefully
we'll
it never
see.
comes back.
We just hope it never comes back. And we're trying very hard to eat better. And Paula says, Robin, thank you. I knew what you meant. Autocorrect is so frustrating. Happens all the time. It does. It does to me too. And Grant says, I learned this while in the hospital, that enough red meat is important in healing. Yeah, to have a little bit. So a little bit of red meat isn't bad because it has iron in it. It's very high in protein. There's some good vitamins in it as well.
Whatever you do, you have to get
moderation.
Complete proteins. I mean, even if you were vegetarian, you have to have enough of like the rice and beans together.
Make a complete protein.
Proteins that your body cannot manufacture on its own.
Yeah. And you know what? The beans and rice, we need more commercials again like we had back in the 70s as kids. I remember I learned there was, like, we used to have Schoolhouse Rock, and it would teach us, government lessons and a lot of different things, and conjunction, junction, what's your function, taught us the English language better. And I'm just a bill. I'm only a bill sitting here on Capitol Hill, all that stuff. But there was a commercial, and it was aimed at kids during Saturday morning cartoons. And it was about how when you eat beans, like pinto beans, kidney beans, those kind of beans, lima beans, if you eat those kind of legume beans, if you eat it with rice together, they form the perfect protein.
That was in commercials, really?
Yep.
I don't remember those.
I remember that one because
You're
then I knew
younger
it.
than me, though.
I am younger than you. It's that 5 years difference.
The
The wonder years. But there was a commercial about that during Saturday morning cartoons. But yep. And red meat is a complete protein. So is chicken is a complete protein. So is fish, a complete protein. But yeah. And Grant learned that with you'll watch his video from last week. A lot of good stuff to learn on that, but he learned that from his recent foot surgery. And Paula says, my body is probably resetting. I'm just impatient. I know it's so hard. We got those big goals in hand. But yep. And Robin says, Paula, do you measure your body? I was amazed at losing inches and seeing it, and glad that you healed. Me too. I am glad you got better, Paula. And
thank you. I always get so jealous. Everyone telling Gina she looks good today.
And you always look good. You're my cutie pie.
Thanks.
And Paula says, yes, I do, Robin. I've lost 35 inches total.
Wow,
Paula, that's fantastic. She says, thank you. I'm so thankful for the healing. Yep. And Robin thinks 35 inches is amazing. Hey, we got Sandy in the house. Hey, Sandy. She says, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for all you do. Oh, thanks so much, Sandy. Appreciate that. And Grant says, hi, Sandy. And everyone is congratulating. Yeah, that 35 inches is huge. And yay! Oh, thank you so much, Paula. You made my day. You made my heart smile. Thank you so much. She says, Jeff and Gina, thanks for all you do. You are both a huge blessing.
Thanks.
Oh, thanks so much, Paula. We appreciate you supporting our channel. That is a great super chat. Appreciate that big time. And Robin says, the needles to soften up the meat. I was thinking, how many did we eat? And when they tried to soften the beef up, ugh,
And then they're pushing like the E. coli stuff further into the middle of the meat that you don't cook as much maybe because you leave the middle part stays pink.
Yeah, so they talked about that in chapter 10, that's one of the ways they try to tenderize the lower in fat meat products is through needling them and poking at them. And Dawn says 85% is our household compromise as well. Yeah, the 85% lean ground beef. Hubs complain same as Jeff.
Yeah.
Me too tough. Yep. So that has been our compromise is I get the 85%. And Paula says, thank you, Traveling Tea. And Rachel says, it's my first time here. Yay! Well, thanks for joining us, Rachel Shaw. And if you've ever taken a GLP-1, you can catch, we go live. I go live every Monday evening as well. And I give myself my Manjaro shot and do a live Q&A as well. But glad to have you here, Rachel. And Paula says, hi, Rachel. Oh, and Rachel, our weight loss book club, we do one chapter a week because we are a book club for busy people. So we do a deep dive with each other every week over one chapter. And this is the third book that we've read so far. And if you go to my Anchor Moments page on YouTube, it shows all the different playlists. And so you can catch up if you buy this book, if you want to catch up with the first 9 chapters, you can watch them on replay as well.
And we have the other books, Atomic Habits and
The
Ways
Easy
to
Way to Quit Emotional Eating. Are our 3 books we've been working on so far. And Rachel, we're discussing chapter 10 of Michael Moss's Salt, Sugar, Fat. Yeah. And Paula needs to get that book.
Salt, sugar, and fat.
Yeah, in our diet. Sorry. And how things have
how the food giants have hooked us. This is really good. Yeah.
How the food giants have hooked us. Yep. Dun, 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 dun.
It's very informative.
Yep. And Paula says, your interview was great, Grant. Yeah, it really was. It was outstanding. And he says, thanks to Paula. And Traveling Tea says, this is such a great group. So many valuable information shared. I'm grateful for everyone. Oh, thanks so much, Traveling Tea. We are grateful for you too. And Rachel says, this is very good information. You are very welcome. And Robin says, Barb's with her daughter, helping her out. Pammy is healing. Oh, okay. And Pammy's healing. Okay. It's where everybody is. And Robin says, Barb did a video with her daughter I watched yesterday. She's having a blast helping out and being able to do all she couldn't before. Oh, that's so great. That is so great. I need to reach out to Barb. I haven't talked to her in a few days. And Grant says, I'm heading on. See y'all tomorrow. Thank you. And Rachel says, to the lady and guy who hold this, what are your names or what do I call you? Oh, hi, Rachel. So I'm Gina. And this is my husband, Jeff.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice meeting you. And Mindy says Barb is back home, actually. All right, I'm going to reach out to Barb and see how she's doing. All right, everybody. That's all the comments we have right now. I want to thank you all for showing up today and look forward to doing chapter 11 with you next week. And whispering in the hospital. Oh, gosh. And we are going to have Pammy on. She's going to do a video with us. Pammy, she's interviewed with me before, and it was also a fantastic interview. She's lost over 160 pounds. And this last week, she had a panelectomy. I don't know. It's where they remove the excess skin off of your stomach. And she also had a hernia operation at the same time. So she had two different surgeons working on her at the exact same time. And she's healing from that. And she is going to be on a future episode sharing with us what it's like recovering from the skin removal surgery. Oh, and it's nice meeting you too, Rachel. Oh, thank you, Traveling Tea, and everybody be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks. It does make a difference for our channel. Oh, before we go, we got to see who's got first, second, and third place on the leaderboard. Where's my phone, Jeff? Or do you have your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, there's my phone's over there. Right here. See who, let's see. Oh, on comments today, first, second, and third place. Dun, 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 dun.
Where are you going, Missy?
I got to go to, it doesn't show it to me on StreamYard, but it will on regular. I have to go like a regular person watching the show. Here we go. I have to go like a regular person watching the show. There, let me turn off my sound. Okay. Where do I click?
I don't know.
I need to see who's on the leaderboard. Is it this? All right, number 1 this week was Paula. Yay! Number 2 was Grant. Woohoo! And number 3 was Robin Lockwood. Thank you so much, you guys, for being a part, and everybody who showed up. Hold on to your anchor moments.
You're all number 1.
Hold on to your anchor moments and make it a great day. Bye-bye.